All right, we are live. Welcome to the Goals for the Soul webinar, how to achieve your biggest and grandest dream goals with peace and produce the result. Here we go live so you guys can see me. Awesome. So welcome to the Goals for the Soul webinar. Today, what I want to work with you guys on is how do you achieve your grandest goals? And I figured the best way to do this is just be face-to-face with you, not have a lot of slides to focus on, but literally the most specific tactical tools that you need to achieve your grandest goals. I will tell you that I would recommend that you take notes today because I'm going to give you some very specific things, and you want to be specific in taking those actions. As we get started, I see we already have a bunch of people on the call, so get in the chat room, say hi, let me know you're here, let me know who you are, so we can rock and roll. I love that. By the way, in case I get going so hot today with topic, you'll notice the fire extinguisher right there, so I can put out the fire. Anyways, we are at IC3 Solutions, a great company that we're using their office for to do this webinar. So thanks for them. A little shout out to them. And so get in the chat room right now and let me know you're here. Also, at the end of the program, because I'm going to make sure that you get some great content today, some real specific strategies, right? There's not going to be any fluff here. It's going to be the most specific things I can give you to help you achieve your grandest dream goals. And we're going to explain what do I mean by grandest dream goals as well. Yet at the end of the program, as long as I give you that great content and you go, man, that was awesome. I love that. That was a game changer for me. If I do that, do I have your permission to share with you something I'm very, very passionate about? Probably take about 5 or 10 minutes to do that. If I have your permission, please put it up on the chat room right now. Yep, Kurek, you got my permission. And I will just wait. Great. People are already saying yes. I love it. Hey, Peter, great to see you. Michael, Gary. All right, we're getting some people on the call. I love it. And the number's growing. I can watch the counter growing as we go. So here we go. In order to get your grandest dream goals, because I want to make sure that I stay clean to the webinar being an hour long today for you, right? So we said it's going to be an hour. I'm going to try not to do my normal 3 or 4 hour thing. We're going to stay to an hour. And in order to get your grandest dream goals, right, we're going to have to go through some process first, and you'll understand it once it all comes together. So trust, there's a method to my madness. There's a very specific way that I operate with all my private clients. The reason they achieve such massive results is because I'm very specific on what we do and how I do this with them, right? And so picture this, in order to have the results that you want, right? So whatever goal it is, whatever you want to achieve, it could be relationship, it could be wealth, it could be health, happiness, it could be health, it could be a trip somewhere, it could be getting yourself into movies if you wanted to be, it could be whatever you want, whatever that result is. In order to get the result, we obviously have to do the action. Now we got that, right? I got to do the action, get the result. By the way, that in nature is a law called cause and effect. So the result is the effect, the cause is the action that creates that effect. That's why no matter what goal a person presents to me, you'll never hear me say, oh, that's too big. You might want to scale that one down or whatever, because in the universe, by the way, the word universe means everything. Everything's in the universe, right? So in everything is everything, which means every possibility, every variation of every possibility. So that means that whatever result you want is available in the universe. And there's a cause that will create that effect or that result. See, now it's exciting. That's why I never hear a goal that's too big for me, or I go, well, you want to scale that one down, is all I'm looking for is once I hear the goal is, okay, what's going to produce that goal? That's exciting. But here's the challenge. Most people know what to do. They're still not doing it. Like, as an example, we all know that in order to achieve our goals, we need to write them down, right? Because the first step to achieving your goals is writing them down. Yet only 3% of the population actually writes down their goals every year. I'm in front of hundreds of thousands of people around the world who work in 17 countries. I'm regularly asking an audience, who here wrote down your goals this year? Guess what? About 3%, consistently across the board. They did a study at Yale University in the 1950s. They asked a class, who here wrote down your goals this year? Guess what? About 3%. They followed that class as a case study for the next 20 years. And at the end of 20 years, they found out that the 3% that wrote down their goals were financially worth more than all 97% of the rest of the class combined. Why is that? Well, Confucius says, the person who aims at nothing is sure to hit it. So if you're not going for it, right, there's no way you're going to get it. So the first step is to write down your goals. Yet most people still don't do it. Or maybe another example would be is, we all know that if you want to be healthy and fit, well, you got to exercise regularly, you got to move your body, you got to eat better quality of food, smaller portions of food, cut out some of the junk food. We got all that. Everybody knows that. Yet 65% of all Western civilizations are now overweight and out of shape. Actually, obesity has now hit epidemic proportions. It's that bad. Here in Australia, a couple of years ago, we had a 10-year-old die of a heart attack from being obese, right? It's shocking. And by the way, Eastern countries now, Asia and stuff, because they've adopted the Western way of eating, Macca's, KFC, Dunkin' Donuts, all the rest of those things, all of a sudden they're having obesity problems, heart attack problems, cancer problems like never had before. So we all know what to do to produce the result, but the question is why aren't we doing it, right? Even yourself on this call, you probably, a lot of things I'm going to teach you today, you probably already know. Why aren't you doing it? And there's no judgment here. This is what I'm going to help you get over, by the way, because everything that I'm going to teach you about goal setting today, as far as the process of goal setting, you could probably learn in a book. The difference, though, is that my job is not to teach you content. My job is to help you facilitate real, lasting change. And that's why I get such great results with the people I work with, is because I know my outcome. My outcome is not to teach my clients content. It's to help them create real, lasting change. And I hope that's exciting for you. And that's why you're on this call. And since you're investing your time with me, I want to make sure that you're going to get the biggest result, the biggest reward for investing your time, the biggest returns. How's that sound? So if that sounds great in the chat room, say, that sounds great. I love it. So why aren't we doing it? That's the question. And I want you to even ask yourself that for a moment. It's like, okay, Kurek's starting to make some sense here. I know what to do. Man, I've set some goals before. I didn't take the consistent action, or I dropped off the page and I stopped doing it, even when I was doing some of the action. Why? Why? Because I want you to have that question in your head for a moment of going, yeah, it is kind of interesting. Because first, I'm going to assume that if you're on this call, you're intelligent. By the way, we've promoted this webinar to a lot of people, and we have about 100 people who've taken us up on the offer. That already makes you the cream of the crop. I'm guessing a lot of you guys, and by seeing some of your names coming up, that you guys have done personal development, that you're in the Life Success Club, that you've gone to workshops, that you've read books. But why is it that we're still not doing what we're supposed to be doing to produce the results that we want? Well, the answer is quite simple. We have to first be the person who would do those things. Does that make sense? See, when a person says, when I lose the weight, then I'm going to be healthy. Well, what they're saying is that the result comes before who they are, which, by the way, is not the formula. They will never take the action. Why? Because they're saying I'm unhealthy, and unhealthy people don't take healthy actions. They take unhealthy actions because that's what unhealthy people do. That keeps them being unhealthy. So people say, okay, wait a minute. Are you talking about like wealth would be the same thing? Like, in order to be wealthy, I mean, I have to be wealthy first before I have the money. That's actually it. And people then, well, what? My action then would be what? Spend money I don't have so I can feel like I'm wealthy? No. Actually, only poor people spend money that they don't have. Wealthy people, what we do is we produce wealth. We create wealth. We learn about it. We study it. We put it into action. That produces the tangible wealth. But you have to be the person first. So by the way, that in itself, if you just get what I just gave you, that in itself is worth your entire investment for today. And yet, we're just the tip of the iceberg of what I'm going to give you today. That's a game changer. Be, do, have. You got to be the person now. So this next nugget that I'm going to give you again is a game changer. And that is, now you got it. In order for things to change, that's the result, I must change first. In order for things to change, I must change first, because nothing's going to change unless you change. And so in order to get your grandest dream goals, you're going to have to make some changes to your life. Why? Well, because the person you are right now is consistently doing what you're doing right now. And by the way, I'm not knocking it or judging it. Everybody's produced results. It's not going to get you, though, to where you want to be. It's gotten you to where you are, which, by the way, is great. It's not going to get you to where you want to be. If you change, you'll change the way you operate. You'll change the results that you produce. This is all starting to make sense, isn't it? Right? So we have to work on that first. And so all my private clients, now, by the way, I've been coaching for close to 30 years. That's scary to even say that. But I've been coaching for like close to 30 years now. And the reason that I get such dynamic results with businesses I work with, athletes and sports teams, individuals, relationships, health and fitness, careers, craziest thing ever, whatever you think about on your wildest dreams, I've helped people achieve in life, gold medals at the Olympics, all those things, is that I always get them to do the personal development first. And a lot of people say, well, I just want to get the money, or I want my business to be better, or I want to do the marketing stuff. You won't do any of that stuff unless you change who you are first. And as I say to my clients, this is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. If you're going to coach with me, and by the way, it's not just because of me, if I know that I'm here to help you produce real lasting change, then you're going to have to change yourself first. You're going to have to work on yourself first. Now, I'm not saying radically, change everything about you all at once, because I don't know anybody who can do that. You are going to have to make some incremental shifts in who you say you are, because who you say you are is going to also change how you operate, what you do, what you don't do, the questions you ask yourself, the kind of thinking you have, your emotional state management. And these are all pieces of the puzzle, by the way, that need to be worked on. We see people come to our Find Your Fire retreat. The results that they produce afterwards is mind-blowing. Why? That's what we work on. First, find your passion. What is it? A lot of people don't even know what that is. Then work on your emotional state. Work on being able to operate at a different frequency, because the frequency you're on is producing the result that you get. Awesome. Not going to produce the result that you want to get. So we're going to have to make some shifts to that. So in order for things to change, I must change first. So what I'd like you to do right now is, in the chat room, give a shout out and say, you know what? I need to change first. Just write that down. It's powerful. There's a method to my madness. By you saying that, as you're making a declaration to yourself and going, you know what? This makes sense. I'm only going to do what I'm doing now, and that's how I'm going to produce the result I get now. I'm going to have to make some shifts. I'm going to have to make some changes. I'm going to have to invest in myself to do that, to produce some results. And when people go, Kurek, you don't really understand me. I got a different life than you. I got a family. I got a job. I got a business. I have all those things too. And by the way, I spent most of my life poor. I've been homeless. numerous times. I definitely know what the poorhouse feels like. I don't need to go back and see it ever again. I've also, been through numerous marriages, right? So I've had relationships not work out. I've had anxiety at one time in my life, depression, all kinds of different things. I've been there. The thing, though, is what I figured out is that if you're going to say, I don't have the time to work on myself, to invest in myself, then it's like saying, I'm so busy flying my plane, I don't have time to put fuel in it. Oh, what happens when you don't put fuel in your plane and you're flying? You crash, right? Well, same thing with your life. So you gotta go, you know what? It's me. I gotta change. I gotta invest in myself. Right now, I'm gonna make that decision to invest in myself, to put some time in to make some changes. Now, right now, I'm telling you, yes, you got to make some changes. And I can hear you thinking. By the way, that's one of my skill sets, is I can actually hear you thinking right now going, but I'm not really sure what those changes are. That's okay. That's okay. Why? Because the first thing you have to have is the awareness that, you know what? Yeah, something's got to change. I'm going to have to invest in myself. I'm going to work on myself. And now I'm going to go looking for what that is. And by the way, I'm going to help you with that. Seek and thou shalt find. It's biblical, right? When you start looking for it or ask and it will be given, again, biblical. It means that, you start looking for it, you'll find it. But until you knew that there was something to look for, well, why would you look for it, right? So that's called total blindness. You didn't even know that you didn't know. But now that you know, well, at least you know what to start to look for. Make sense? So in order for things to change, and I love it. By the way, I'm seeing Michael DeCourcy on the call. Hey, Michael, great shout out to you in New Zealand. That's awesome. Michael and his beautiful wife, Desiree, great examples. By the way, Michael, can you come up right in the chat room? How old is Anthony these days? If I can share this story with you guys real fast, is one of their goals was to have a child, and they were told by the doctors it was impossible, can't happen. Tried many years. I think it was like 12 or 14 years to my recollection. And, just through, again, them accepting, yep, we got to change. We got to change the way that we're operating mentally. We got to change the way we're identifying ourselves. We got to manage our emotional state, because the key distinction between successful people and average people, or the masses, is that we learn how to manage how we think and feel differently than them. Because when you manage how you think and feel, you're going to have different thoughts. You're going to leave stressful thoughts behind. You're going to have creative thoughts. Creative thoughts create. And so they obviously got pregnant and have a beautiful boy. Let me go through the chat room here and see. Michael, how old is Anthony now? You can write that in the chat room for me. Oh, he's 11. Wow, 11th birthday in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. Happy birthday. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are making me old. 11 years ago. It's amazing. So in order for things to change, I must change first. And, Michael will share with you guys when you have a chance to talk to him, is that for him and Desiree, it actually was quite easy in its own way to have Anthony in its own way, because it was, you stop fighting. It's like keto. You connect, you blend, and you redirect. Instead of fighting it, is connect with it, embrace it, and produce the result that you want. So awesome. I'm so glad you guys are on the call. It's amazing. I love that. So in order for things to change, I must change first. And that's why, even with what I'm going to give you today on the call, is you need to invest in personal development. You got to start working on yourself. And by the way, still to this day, I work in personal development. Aaron and I, we do audio programs. I'm constantly coaching. I'm doing speaking engagements. So I live in this environment. But even when we have downtime, so let's say over the Christmas holidays or whatever, Aaron and I, we're still working on ourselves, and we still talk about these things, and we are empowering ourselves, and we're always asking the magic question. And you probably want to write this down. Matter of fact, write it in the chat room, and that is, how can I make it better? How can I make this better? again, a game changer is like if you have goals, you want to keep asking, how can I make this better? Like whatever action I'm taking towards a goal, how can I make it better? How can I make myself better? What strategies do I need to improve the quality of my life? Who can help me? Where can I find that help? If you notice, these are all questions. And when you ask the question, you are guaranteed to get the answer. Just make sure that you're asking the appropriate questions, not like, why can't I ever get the answer? Or why am I always stuck and never follow through with my goals? You actually don't want those answers. So don't ask those questions. Instead, how can I make this better? How can I make myself better? And it's something that I'm constantly working on in myself. But by the way, I've done thousands of speaking engagements. After every speaking engagement, I ask myself 3 magic questions: is what did I do great? How can I make it better? And by what % did I improve by? Again, game-changing strategy right there. I'm giving you a lot of nuggets. But if you ask, what did you do great? Well, you want to do it again. You won't unless you write it down. So you write it down. What did I do great? And by the way, there's no buts. Oh, I did this great, but. No. But erases everything that comes before the word but. I did this great. Awesome. I did that great. Awesome. I did that great. Awesome. Next, how can I make it better? Well, that's a strategy question. Whatever you come up with, put it into action. Keep doing what you're already doing. That was great. Add in, how can I make it better? It has to be better. That's like simple math right there. Then, by what % did I improve by? And the reason you ask that question is it gives you certainty. It gives you confidence. Why? You have a measurement that you can see yourself growing. You see yourself evolving. It's a game changer. So I hope this stuff is starting to sink in and you're going, man, Kurek's giving me a lot on this call. There's a lot here. I'm getting it. It's going to change your life. And that's what I'm here for. Why waste your time with a bunch of fluff? I'm giving you the nuggets that will do it, but you're going to have to put it into action. Knowledge by itself is not power. Calvin Coolidge, one of the presidents of the United States, said that the world is full of educated derelicts. Most people know what to do. Most people aren't doing what they know. I'm going to tell you that it's in the doing that we develop, not in the knowing. So that's powerful. So let's go into literally the formula now to achieve your grand dream goals. There's a very specific strategy here. The first thing that you want to do is, and I already talked about this at the beginning of today's webinar, is that you want to write down your goals. So what I'm going to suggest that you do today is that you're going to do what I call the magic 15 minutes. Now, we're obviously not going to do it here because I'll be sitting here for 15 minutes staring at the screen, but do it today. See, again, don't put this on the back burner. Don't say I'll get to it this week. Don't say, literally, you should get off the call once we finish up and do your 15 minutes. People are like, 15 minutes? I got to do a whole 15 minutes? Okay, do 10. But look, it's for you to change your life on all levels, to have the experience of life that you want to have, to make it better. If you don't, by the way, there's a law of polarity that says everything in the universe has polar opposite sides to it in order for it to exist. So that means you can't have a top without a bottom. You can't have an inside without an outside. You can't have a left without a right. So it also means is that, there's moving in one great direction called evolution, or you dissolve. Either you evolve or you dissolve. You're either growing or you're decaying. And the law of vibration said everything's in motion. So again, you put those together. If you're not moving in one direction by default, you're moving in the other. So if you're not making your life better, it's actually getting worse. And that's not a way to go. People ask me, they say, Kurek, you're still driven. You still have goals, man. You're still physical and in shape and, all that stuff. Are you ever going to slow down? Yes. When somebody puts their foot in my backside and pushes me into the grave. But until then, I have not peaked. I want to see how much I can get out of this lifetime. I want to see how much flavor I can taste, how much joy I can get. Doesn't that sound way better than becoming a couch potato and basically waiting for your death to show up, right? So play full out. Go for it. So today, take what I call the magic 15 minutes. And in the magic 15 minutes, you're going to let your hand keep writing. No limitations. what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? What experiences do you want to have? And by the way, no limitations. So that means don't go, well, a big house, I'd have to clean it and the mortgage is expensive. That's just, what do you want? What would you like to experience? And you go, well, I'm not materialistic. Materialistic is when you get possessed by your possessions. But you know what? They're all here to experience. Somebody asked me years ago, they said, hey, Kurek, what if I want a designer purse or a bag, like a Gucci or something like that? Is there something wrong with that? I said, why do you think God's not in Gucci? What, God's in Kmart, but he's not in Gucci? Doesn't make any sense, right? In the creator's eyes, in the universe's eyes, it's just energy. So which one do you want? Which one is going to bring you joy to experience? If you don't want the Kmart bag and you want the Gucci bag, enjoy it. It's all borrowed. You got to give it all back. But see, when you borrow great in your life, things that bring you joy, well, you're going to teach other people they can do the same thing. And when the world is filled with a bunch of people enjoying their life, there's less fighting, there's less wars, there's less crime, certainly less terrorism, because you got to remember, terrorism is built out of scarcity. Terrorism is built out of pain. Crime, same thing. So, we got to walk our talk, got to stand up. Somebody's going to make a difference. And the only way you're going to help anybody else to be happy, to be healthy, to be wealthy, to be successful, well, that's for you to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and successful first. In order for things to change, I must change first. See how this stuff all fits together? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This guy Kurek's Looney Tunes. He's off his head. Well, I'm passionate. And the reason I'm so passionate after all these years is because I see it in action constantly, consistently, and I see it producing the results with people. And it fires me up because it shows me that what I'm teaching you today, it's not prejudiced. It's not biased. It's not only for special people. Everybody and anybody that puts it into action is guaranteed. I love that word, guaranteed the results. Who's excited? If you're excited by that, say, I'm excited. Thank you, Sharon, for loving Looney Kurek. My mom loved me, so it was good. So we're going to, first thing we'll do is write down our goals. No limitations. Go crazy. If you ask your children what do they want, where they want to live, they'll say, I want a house with 15 bedrooms and they're all mine. I want 18 swimming pools. I want sharks, dolphins, rocket ships. Kids have no limitations, right? Then you ask an adult, where do you want to live? Oh, I want to live, don't want to have to clean it and not like those Americans, got to have a big place, I'm just something like comfortable. Look, the Creator made us children first so that we could master it, not surrender it, right? So learn how to be a wise child where you still believe in magic. You still have that magic in your heart. You still have that sparkle in your eye and that zest for your life of going, man, I want to make this awesome. Not good, not pretty, certainly not pretty good, awesome. That you're in awe of your own life. Awesome, in awe of. That you're going, man, this is a whole different game than ever before, and I'm loving it. And just think about all the people you're going to inspire, which means show them their own spirit, inspired, in spirit. You show people their own spirit when they're, you're inspirational by living your life at another level where they say, you know what, I can do this too. They see your light and then they step into their own light so they can produce a great life too. That's the power of it. It's not just about you. I love living my life at this level. How many people I inspire by it because they know I've been homeless. They know I've been down and out. They know I've been depressed and all those other things. And they see where I am today and they go, man, if you can do it, I can do it. And by the way, you don't have to be a success coach or a guy on stage to do that. You can do that in everyday life, which, by the way, I do. Most people don't know who I am when I walk around in the world. I'm just Kurek, right? And yet I carry myself this way all the time. And you can too. And that's how we're going to make the world a better place. So don't just do it for yourself. It's not just your birthright anymore. It's now your obligation. See, because once you know, you can't go back to ignorance, which means uneducated, right? Ignorance is no longer bliss because we know better. So the first thing to do is take your 15 minutes, write, no limitations, be excited. Matter of fact, turn some music on, get yourself in a good emotional state as you're writing it, so your brain's linking up all this pleasure to achieving the goal. Oh, it's exciting, right? You write it down, you're foaming at the mouth like Homer Simpson going after a donut, you're drooling and stuff. You're so excited about the goal, writing them down. Oh, that's awesome. Then what I want you to do is, after you write your list, is circle what I call your top 3 grand dream goals. Now, before you start writing or do anything, think about what I'm going to explain to you next. Is a grand dream goal is a terminology that I came up with because a goal is a goal. And a goal doesn't necessarily it's not that inspiring. It doesn't necessarily have to be inspiring. So as an example, writing a book and completing your book is a goal. Great. But guess what? That book nobody's read because it's finished. I know a lot of people who've written a book and never got it published. Or I know a lot of people who've published a book and never sold one. They have a living room or a garage full of cases of books that nobody's ever read. So my grand dream goal with How Would Love Respond, my, by the way, #1 international bestseller, was that it would become a #1 international bestseller. I didn't want to just finish the book. I wanted people to read it, because what's the point of doing all that work, but nobody's read your book, right? So my goal, my grand dream goal, was to be a #1 international bestseller. And because that was my goal, that's what it became. That's the experience I really wanted to have. So that's what your grand dream goals are. So because people say, oh, well, instead of goals, maybe it's your dreams. But we all know that our dreams are nebulous. They're not tangible. So grand dream goals, the reason I say grand and not big, is big connotates size, right? So it's got to be a big goal or got to be an expensive goal. Doesn't. Grand dream goals, and you want to write this down, grand dream goals are the goals that give you the most amount of joy to experience. Grand dream goals. Those are your grand dream goals. The goals that give you the most amount of joy to experience. Now, in that one little statement there's a lot of information, which means that on your way to your goals, every action that you take need to be joyful actions. There's another big piece of the puzzle right there. Because if you're stressed out, frustrated, driving hard to get that goal, when you get the goal, you won't enjoy it. I don't care what you think it is, you won't enjoy it. It's all about the experience. It's about the journey all the way along the way. Well, if you enjoy the journey all the way along the way, you'll definitely enjoy the goal. But guess what? Even if you don't get the goal, you still enjoyed the journey, which is what you wanted the goal for anyways. Right? It's not really about the goal. It's about the feeling you thought it was going to give you. Because everything we do in this lifetime is to either gain a feeling or to avoid another feeling, or usually a combination of the both. Right? So if you're getting that feeling all the way along the way, you've already won. The goal is just a bonus. Right? So enjoy every step of the way. But also here's the science behind that. Because I'm not just talking fluffy stuff and let's be happier, which by the way is a great one. The science behind it is that your brain makes what's called a neuro connection between what you're experiencing and what you're feeling. And it's doing this all the time with everything, every moment of every day, everything that you're going through, your brain's making these neuro connections. And that determines, well, if we perceive it to be pleasurable, we move towards it. We want to do more of it automatically. If we perceive it to be painful, we move away from it. We avoid it. We don't want to do it, right? That's just an automatic response. It's like a defense mechanism. It's built in you. So you put your hand on a hot surface, your hand pulls away automatically. Your hand's up here. And it goes, man, that was hot. Up here, not here. It automatically moved away from it before you could even consciously think about it. Same thing with neural connections, is that when we think or perceive it to be painful, we're going to move away from it. So that's why we want to keep linking up massive amounts of pleasure to everything about the goal, thinking about the goal, picturing the goal, writing the goal, every action towards the goal. Because the more pleasure that your brain links up to the goal, the faster you'll move towards achieving it, and the brain will go into automatic that not only help you get it, but also expand on it. It's the power of it. That's why this is not just fluffy, oh, let's feel good, let's hug some trees and kumbaya and all that stuff. It's tactical. It's science. It's the way your system works. I'm just teaching you how to take active control of your system so that you can produce the results that you want. It's doing it anyways. But most people, they're like, oh, God, Kurek's making me write out goals and I'll do it because he said so. Right out, you're on the wrong foot right there. Get yourself in a good emotional state. Put the music on. Get yourself pumped up. Write the goals being excited. Don't write the goal going, oh, I've done this before, never got them before. I don't know why this isn't. That's not helping you. That's hurting you. Your brain's linking up pain, past pain experiences. You got to remember, manage how you think and feel. I'm giving you a lot today. Game changer. That's where I play the game in life, though. I'm giving you a lot. The thing, though, is today should be the beginning of your journey, not the end of it, and certainly not the totality of it. It's the beginning of your journey. You need to follow through with this because the fortune is always in the follow through. And you got to build on this. Remember, in order for things to change, I must change, but I also have to be consistent with that change. Love it. I'm getting all fired up and excited talking to myself right now. I love this because everybody and anybody that I've ever helped and puts this into action gets results that are mind-blowing and rewards and results that they at one time in their life thought were impossible. It's like all the people I've taken fire walking, where they're thinking, this is impossible. I can't do this. I can't fire walk, I'm the one person who's going to get burned. And then they step up on the coal, before they get to the coals and they go, you know what? I'm scared. In times in life, I feel like I've been burned metaphorically, but I'm doing this. They make that decision. They get in that emotional state. They make it across safely. Man, what happens after that for the rest of their life is game changer. My mom was a very serious alcoholic. Very, very serious. My whole life, I have no childhood memories of my mom ever being sober. My mom came to one of my programs and fire walked with me. At that moment, my mom said, if I can do that I thought was impossible, giving up alcohol is easy. And for the next 18 years of her life, my mom was clean and sober until her passing. And it was awesome having a relationship with my mom at a different level, her being clean and sober. That's the power of making decision, but also is reinventing who you are. Because when you do, the being changes, the doing changes, the results change. You got to invest in this person. It's your best investment. It's right there in the word, by the way. INVESTMENT. I invest in me. It's right there in the word. The best investment you can ever make. Look at the word. Write it out. INVESTMENT. I invest in me. It's right there in the word. The best investment you can ever make is in your own personal development. Because when you develop into being a more evolved version of yourself, a better action taker, and it's not huge. It's very close to who you are. By the way, you're on this call, so I already know you're an action taker. It's just getting a little bit better than you are right now, a little bit more improved, a little bit more skillful at it. The results are mind-blowing. Game changer, right? So first, write out your grand dream goals. Second, circle them, your top 3 grand dream goals. What are the ones that are going to give you the most amount of joy to experience? See, because if you only have so much time on the planet, why not go for the ones that are going to give you the most amount of joy? Don't go for, well, that one's easier and that's probably more attainable. Those aren't the ones you're passionate about. The ones that will give you the most amount of joy are the ones you're passionate about. By the way, that's another key ingredient you need is passion. Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, said that you need to have a burning desire. That burning desire is known as passion. Another word for passion is enthusiasm, right? Massive enthusiasm. Well, the word enthusiasm, the root word of enthusiasm is entheos. It's a Greek word. It means the God within. So as you see, there's more power on your side when you're passionate. Anything you've ever been great at in life, it's the stuff you're passionate about. So get passionate. You got to get fired up. And that's why go for your grand dream goals. Next, so you've circled your top 3 grand dream goals. The next thing is you're going to put a due date on there. A due date is not a deadline. Deadline. That's why they call it a deadline. Is people stress out over not getting the deadline. Stress is the number 1 killer on the planet. It's not a deadline. It's a due date. It's a finish line that you're putting down to go, I'm moving towards that. Because if you don't have a due date, you go, I'll get to it, and you won't. See, why would you run a race? Like you go to the Olympics and you're going to run a race, but there's no finish line. Well, that's not even a race. That's just a bunch of people running until they finally get tired and pass out, right? You got to have a finish line. And so that's a due date. And so you're going to move towards that due date. Like that's it. Now, by the way, if you don't hit it by the due date, even though you were playing full out, you don't stress out. You just move the due date a little farther out, right? So you stay in motion, not far out, just a little farther out. So as an example of that, with my book, How Would Love Respond, my original due date was 3 months from when I first started writing it. I didn't make that, but I was acting as if I was going to make that. And I mean, right up to the day, even when I knew I had still chapters to go, I still was writing as if I'm going to hit that due date. When I didn't, I moved it another 3 months, kept going, another 3 months. I did that for 4 years. But by having short due dates like that, it kept me in motion. I didn't let the throttle off. I kept going. Now, not stressful. I just made sure that every day I did writing, every day. And people go, do you ever have writer's block? Yeah. They go, what'd you do? Keep writing. Don't say I have writer's block and let it stop you. Keep writing. Keep the muscle built. You'll break through that, right? And so I kept going on that. By the way, those same 4 years I was writing, I was studying marketing, publicity, publishing, online campaigns, all that stuff. That's why when How Would Love Respond was released, within 4 hours, it became an international #1 bestseller. It's not an accident. It's not a fluke. It's not magical. It's tactical. See what I mean? I changed who I was. I invested in myself. Now, how did I do that? Well, first, I had to have the right mindset. I'm doing this. I'm having this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it anyways. Next is I started developing new skill sets. That's part of it. If you want to get your grand dream goals, you're going to have the right mindset and develop new skill sets. Remember, I told you marketing and publishing and all these things. Great. Now, how do you do that? How do you get the right mindset? How do you get the right skill sets? Education, application, follow through. It's right there. Easy. You can do anything with this. Education, get the education you need, put that education into instant action. Not once I learn all of it, then I will. No, each piece of the puzzle, right? So Aaron and I, we've been studying some online courses. We watch a video. We will not go to the next video until we put into action what we just learned. Then we consistently do that action. We stay with it. Then we add the next piece of the puzzle and the next piece. And pretty soon you got momentum on your side, right? So write down the goals. Circle your top 3. Put on a due date. Easy, right? You're loving it. Then what you want to do is I'm going to give you a question, and it's quite simple, and that is, knowing that these goals of mine are a reality, what 3 actions am I going to take today to achieve them? Easy. Knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, what 3 actions am I going to take today to achieve them? Easy. And by the way, if you want that question, you can write us. I'll write it out to you and send it to you. Aaron can probably put it in the chat room for you. You can watch the replay of this. But it's not that hard. Knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, what 3 actions am I going to take to achieve them? So you're going to read the goal every day with passion and enthusiasm, first thing in the morning. Read the goal at night, just before you go to bed. After you read them in the morning, ask yourself that question. Knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, what 3 actions am I going to take today to achieve them? Take the action. By the way, don't judge it. Don't go, that's stupid. That's never going to work. That's not it. Why would that? Just do it. Whatever your brain told you to do, go do it. It could be go to Starbucks and have coffee. And you're like, well, is that going to get my goal? I don't know. But maybe you're going to meet somebody there. Maybe you're going to be driving down the street and you're going to see a billboard that stimulates a creative idea. I don't know. You have to start to listen to your inner voice, your subconscious. By the way, your hunches and your intuitions, that's your subconscious mind communicating to your conscious mind of what actions to take. So don't try to make this a conscious exercise. Make this a subconscious exercise. Ask your subconscious mind, what am I supposed to do today to get my goal? If every day you're taking 3 actions to move towards your goal, imagine the momentum you're going to create in achieving your goals. It's crazy. Crazy. Now, I know I've given you a lot today, and there's a lot on this, but this is the formula. Now, by the way, you're going to read your goals again at night before you go to bed. You don't have to ask the question. Just read the goals with passion and enthusiasm. As you're sleeping, your subconscious mind will still be working on the goals. It doesn't need to sleep. Your conscious mind and your body needs to sleep. Your subconscious mind, which by the way is also known as your spirit, that's why it dreams. It's bored. It's laying there doing nothing. So it's going, hey, let's go have an adventure. So you might as well focus it and just say, here's my goal. I'm super excited. Read it out. Brain connects pleasure because you're reading it with passion and enthusiasm, neural connections. And then at night, it starts working on it. In the morning, you have strategies, you have ideas, you have creativity that happens. All kinds of magical things happen. Your goals will happen a lot faster than you can ever imagine. So I'm going to give you how to read the goals as the last piece of the puzzle, because again, it's very specific. And then I'll take you through the whole thing again, just to recap all of it. What you're going to do is you're going to say, what are you going to say? Oh, anyway, you're going to read your goal with passion and enthusiasm. You're going to write the goal out in present tense. See, I'm so excited. I lost myself for a moment. I don't care. You're going to read the goal in present tense as if it's happening right now. Right? So, because if you say, I will be, I want to have, your brain pictures it in the future. One day I'll have it, but I don't have it now. Remember, you got to be the person right now. We got to be with the goal right now. Oh, it's all coming together. It's all starting to make sense, right? You got to be with the goal right now, because when your brain pictures you with the goal right now, it's going to produce exactly what it keeps seeing, right? If we see it out in the future, well, guess what? You're going to move into the future, and it's going to move farther in the future. You got to see yourself with it right now. So you're going to write the goal out in the present tense. Then you're going to add your due date to it, and you're going to put the words on or before. So let me give you the whole thing. You're going to start out by saying, I'm so happy and grateful. Write the goal in the present tense. Add the words on or before. Then put your due date there. So it will sound like this. I'm so happy and grateful that I am an international best-selling author of the book, How Would Love Respond, on or before, and then your due date. That's the way it would sound when you're reading your goals. Obviously, you would probably have a different goal than writing my book, which is already written. But anyways, the thing is that why would you put I'm so happy and grateful? Remember, neural connections. You want your brain to keep connecting happiness and gratitude to achieving the goal. The gratitude gives you confidence, gives you certainty, gives you faith that it must be happening. I'm already grateful for it. So I'm so happy and grateful that. Write the goal out in the present tense as if it's already happening. Put the words on or before. Why do you want to put that on there? Well, it can actually happen sooner than the due date. On or before. Awesome. I'm super excited. But that also gets you into instant action, right? Because it can happen sooner. So let's go for it now. I'm so happy and grateful that. Write the goal out in the present tense as if it's already happening right now. Put the words on or before. Put in your due date. That's how you're going to read it every day. First thing in the morning, just before you go to bed, with passion and enthusiasm. Then in the morning, you're also going to ask the question, knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, What 3 actions am I taking today in order to create them in my life or to produce them? Easy. So a recap really fast. Sit down, do the magic 15 minutes, write with passion and enthusiasm. Write everything and anything, no limitations. Go crazy. Go way off the scales. Anything you want to experience. Why not? I mean, you're here, not permanently. You're here for a short time, so make it an awesome time. Even if making it 250 years old, it won't be long enough. So while you're here, you might as well have the best time ever. Because, by the way, the purpose of your life is to enjoy it. When you do that, you win. And when you're enjoying your life, you're going to spread joy and happiness to everybody around you. By the way, when you're miserable and unhappy, you're going to spread that as well. That's not very spiritual. It's not very giving. By the way, if you're going, well, I'm not blissfully happy, but I'm doing pretty good. Great. Now you're spreading pretty good. I don't know if that's really a benefit. Either you evolve or you dissolve. Either you're spreading really great stuff or you're spreading not so good stuff or bad stuff. Spread the good stuff. That's spiritual. That's giving. That's making the world a better place. So like I said, it's not just our birthright, it becomes our obligation to make the best out of ourselves, because the natural order of the universe is for everything in the universe to seek to reach its highest potential, to evolve, to make the best out of yourself. That's what it's all about. That's why it feels so good when we're growing, feels so good when we're learning, feels so good when we're discovering new things. It's great. When you're following through, it feels great. So keep doing it. You keep feeling great, right? So write your goals out, then circle your top 3. The one top means the ones that will give you the most amount of joy to experience. Then put the due date on it. When do you want it by? And again, don't make the due date years out. Make it close where it puts you into action, right? When do you really want it by? And if you're saying today, well, you might want to get into some serious action. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying you got to find that big purpose that drives you. That's passion, enthusiasm. Why do you want it? What's this going to do for you? And the bigger picture, what's going to do for other people as well when you start living your life at this level. Then write them out, those top 3 goals. I am so happy and grateful that. Write the goal in the present tense, on or before, due date. That's what you're going to read, those top 3 goals every day with passion, enthusiasm. First thing in the morning, just before you go to bed, read it in the morning, then say, knowing that these goals of mine are already a reality, what 3 actions am I taking today in order to produce them in my life? Then do the actions. Do this, what I just taught you today. Follow through with evolving your being. Work on yourself. I still go to workshops. I still do online courses. I still read every day. Even though a lot of the things I'm reading I already know, because I teach personal development. I live in personal development. Our library is filled with personal development. But you know what? If you don't evolve, you dissolve. And I always get new things. By the way, I read How Would Love Respond? And I go, that is a great book. This guy's a genius. The thing is, even reading my own book, I get new stuff out of it. I'm like, man, I just got that at another level. I wrote it and I got it another level. So keep working on yourself. Keep evolving that being, who you are, how you operate, because that will change what you're doing and how you're doing it. That will change the results that you get. So no matter what goals you want, the first thing we have to work on is who we are. And we got to do this consistently. Does that make sense? If you got value out of today, if you go, man, this is awesome. I love this. I'm fired up. Right in the chat room right now. I'm fired up. I love this. I'll wait for you. I'll take a breath. I'll drink some water. How's that? I'll spill some water on myself. Great. Sharon's loving it. Michael's loving it. Excellent. Oh, it's coming in. Awesome. So I hope today was of value to you guys. I hope today you're going to go, you know what? He's right. I want my life to be awesome. I don't want my life to be good anymore. I want my life to be awesome. Besides, when my life's awesome, what are you teaching your kids? You're teaching them to have an awesome life. Aaron and I, we every day we talk about how lucky we are to have three amazing kids that we get to raise and watch them grow. But you know what? Because of who we are and how we operate, we don't preach to them because, by the way, they resist. You have a teenage daughter, and she doesn't really want to hear you preach about what you need to do and whatever, because she doesn't want to hear that. But because we read our goals every day, guess what? On her wall, there's her goals. She hears, all of our kids hear how we reference questions that we ask, how we operate. We know they operate the same way because they're doing what we're doing, not what we're telling them to do. Make sense? So we got to be that person. We got to operate this way consistently. And you notice the people around you are doing it. In order for things to change, or in order for the world to change, I must change first. If you get that, your life will dramatically change. And that's what we want to work on. And so what I'd like to share with you guys is what's coming up for us, which is our retreat workshop called Find Your Fire. I talked about it earlier in a call. It's a game changer. It's very intimate, by the way. It's not a big seminar, hundreds of people. It's actually only about 40 people, and it's very intimate. And that's because we give personal attention. Ask any question you want. Aaron and I are right there with you. And it's very intimate. It's very personal, but it's 4 days of us working on ourselves to get to the next level, to literally, how do you produce it? And the results we're seeing with people are mind-blowing. There's a gentleman that I've just recently worked with who came to our retreat in November, had very serious aggressive Tourette syndrome in his whole life. It was costing him. It was painful, giving him headaches, neck aches, self-confidence issues, all kinds of things. His boss told him that, this promotion you're asking for, I don't see you getting it for like 3 years. Came to our program. I've done some work on himself. Now he has no Tourette's, no twitches, no aggressive twitches, nothing. His boss came up and said, on his own, said, you know what, I think I made a mistake. That promotion, I said 3 years, I think you're ready for it now. Got a raise, just bought a new Mercedes. He's now dating a woman that he had the attraction for in high school. Now all of a sudden he's dating her, right? Game-changing life. I'm trying to show you it's a holistic thing. His mom also came to the retreat, the last one, after seeing what's happened with him. She's through the roof now. Like he said, I've never seen my mom like this before. His 8-year-old nephew said, God bless Kurek and Aaron. And I'm so grateful that they came into your life. And he said, why is that? And he goes, because I've never seen you so happy, and Nana's so happy before. It's so happy to see you guys like this. Can I have one of Kurek's posters from How Would Love Respond? And here's an 8-year-old saying this. So as you see, it's a ripple effect. When you change, the world around you changes. And so the retreat is called Find Your Fire. It's coming up. Aaron will put up the dates for you and the rest of those things. It's 4 days. We work on ourselves. By the way, we're on a beautiful Stradbroke Island in Queensland, Australia. Oh, the slide's up right now. You see some fired up people there. Who's that crazy looking bald guy in the front there with that beautiful brunette? Well, how lucky is he? See, my strategies obviously work. But it's so you'll see the dates up there. It's on Stradbroke Island. We are going to do all kinds of different things. So we do meditation, mindfulness training, personal development, work on your goals, work on your relationships, everything. It is in one of the most beautiful locations. By the way, this is the same accommodation. And one of the venues that we use is where I actually met the beautiful Kurek Ashley when I was speaking at a yoga retreat years ago. So it's very personal to us. You're going to spend 4 days and 3 nights there, included in your ticket price. You're going to get your accommodation, and it's awesome. We love this place. That value, by the way, is $500. We're going to include that in your ticket price. Also is catering. I don't even know if it sums up the word properly. Sonia, the woman who provides the cooking and the food, she's awesome. She was, again, the same caterer that did the retreat when I first met Aaron, and that's why we brought her on board. This woman, by the way, is very selective who she'll work with, because this is not even really what she does is her full-time business anymore, but she loves doing our retreat. Everybody loves the food. It's mouth-watering. It is a highlight. Also, you get very close, intimate one-on-one time with Aaron and I. Ask any question. By the way, we all eat our meals together, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all those things. There's plenty of time to go to the beach and enjoy where you are, so we're not locked in a seminar room the whole time. And there it is. There's that thing I told you about earlier is I invest in me. It's the best investment you can ever make is in your own personal development, because when you change who you're being, when you invest in who you're being, what you do and what you don't do, by the way, some of the stuff that's costing you changes, and you produce results that you never had before. That's the formula for all of it. Be, do, have. Make the investment in yourself, and what you'll do and what you'll produce is crazy. It's the best. And Aaron and I, we consistently say we have the best jobs on the planet. We get to watch and help people create their dream life, fulfill their dreams. A lot of them are dreams that people almost buried away and thought that was impossible, that it could never happen, and it has. There's Hugh on the call, and Hugh says, I went to last retreat, total value. It was one of the best things I've done for yourself. Absolutely. And you, super proud of you, man. You're going gangbusters. So we love it. So what do we have next up on the slide? So the full price for the retreat is $14.99 per person. But because you guys are on a webinar, we have a special webinar only price. It's very limited. It's $1,050. So as you see, we take a lot off the per person price just because you're on a webinar today, because you're an action taker, right? Now, by the way, couples, if you're going to stay together as a couple in a room, necessarily it doesn't mean the same bed. What I mean by that is I'm not trying to separate couples as far as relationship goes. That means if you're friends and you don't mind staying in the same room with each other, you can get $950 per person. That includes the accommodation. That includes the catering and the meals. That includes the workshop, everything else. Awesome. That's unbelievable, actually. So there's the dates, and we have bonuses. Because you're on the webinar right now, is one of the bonuses is that we're going to include Aaron's 8-week mindfulness meditation online program. People are loving this. What they're getting out of it. They're like, man, I can't even believe you're adding this in there. That's way too valuable. That's normally $497. We're including that as a bonus. Also is we have a live coaching call with Aaron and I. That's valued at $795. We're including that with your ticket price. So you're going to get the $497 mindfulness course, the live follow-up coaching call with us, with Aaron and I. Then you're also going to get a hardcover best-selling copy of my book, How Would Love Respond, and the wall art. It's a poster, so you can see it with the woman in the picture there. That's a $140 value that we're including with your ticket price. Yeah, we're trying to sweeten the deal for you. It's because I want you to take action. Don't do today's call and think I got it all and I don't need anything else. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is the beginning of your journey to move forward so that you produce the different life, that you create the results that you want. And that's why we're giving you follow-up tools as well. So it's not just about the retreat. It's about what you have that comes after the retreat to stay on your journey, to stay on the path. So you get $1,432 in bonuses. And again, as you see, we have a webinar price where you're already saving a lot of money off the original ticket price, and you get the $1,432 in bonuses. So here we're going to make the deal even sweeter. Is all you got to do is put down $300 to reserve your spot, and then make 2 other payments of $400. One's in April, one's in May, and you're in. is, Aaron just put it up. There's only 19 spots available. I will tell you that those are going to fill up. We will be sold out. Take the action. You get the accommodation. You get the meals. You get the workshop. And by the way, one of the activities that we're going to do to get together is the firewalk adventure. Now, no, you don't have to firewalk and you're going, I don't know, I'm going to be forced to firewalk. No, you're not forced to firewalk. If you want to do it, you do it. I will tell you that don't make your decision until you get out there by the fire and make your decision, but you don't have to firewalk. The workshop itself is a life changer. That's what you'll learn. It change the game for you. If you want to firewalk, you firewalk. But you will go, you know what? I'm scared. I'm nervous. But I think I'm going to do this anyways. You're going to make it across. You're going to be safe. You're going to feel great. And you're going to, man, if I can do that I thought was impossible, what else have I been telling myself is impossible that's been holding me back from achieving all my grandeur and goals? And it's amazing. So you're going to get all that, plus the yoga, the meditation, the one-on-one time with Aaron and I, time to spend at the beach and see your surroundings and all the other things that we get to do. You get a signed copy of How Would Love Respond? You get the wall art, the 8-week mindfulness course, all included in your ticket price. I want to see you there, and I'll make a money back guarantee to you. Come to the program, participate in all the course. You got to be there for all of it. Can't tell me it doesn't work if you don't participate. Participate in all of it. Go, hey Kurek, hey Aaron, I didn't get the value out of this that I thought I was going to get. I'll give you money back. How's that? Now you have to pay for your room and your meals because I can't give that back. But for the price of the course at that point, I'll give you 100% money back on that. And you had a nice vacation at Stradbroke and you ate awesome food. And by the way, I don't need to guarantee that when you taste this food, you'll be like, oh my God, that is amazing food. And again, you'll be staying in great accommodation. But I will definitely return your money for what was the cost of the program. How's that? So now you got no risk. And a little vacation on Stradbroke Island. So enjoy yourself. So we only have 19 spots left. I can see that already those spots are starting to fill up. So take action. Aaron, excuse me. She just put up an offer on your screen. She said, just click on the offer that's on your screen right now to lock your spot in with us. So again, all you got to do is put down, you can either pay it up front, $1,050 per person, or couples, $950, or you can do the payment option, which is $300 deposit, and then make 2 other payments, and boom, done, handled. I'll tell you, it's going to be the best investment you ever make in yourself. So I'm excited to see you there at the retreat. You're going to, when you get there and you participate, you're going to go, I can't believe I got this so inexpensive. When I ask you at the end of the retreat, what did it cost you? The number one answer I get is nothing. I dwarf that. I got way, way more than that. Matter of fact, the first day was worth that. And everything after that was ice cream on a cake. So I have a question for you before I go. And that is, do you believe in your heart and soul that you're a very good person? Say yes. In the chat room, say yes, I'm a very good person. Great. I knew that you were. Well, if a good friend of yours lent you a car, a really nice car, BMW, Ferrari, Mercedes-Benz, and asked you to take care of that car as they went away for a while, when they asked for their car back, how many people here would make the attempt to give them back their car in the same shape, if not better than it was given to you? How many people would do it? Yeah, I knew that you would. Well, your body is the vehicle that your creator gave you to transport your soul for your adventure through life. So when you're asked back for it at the end of your adventure, make sure it's in the same shape, if not better, than it was given to you. And remember that all your dreams come true when you make the decision to make them come true. Thanks for being on a webinar with me today. I hope it was of real value. And remember, my job is not to teach you content. It's to help you facilitate real, lasting change. And that's what I do. So until I talk with you again, have a most outstanding day. Talk to you soon.